We've all been there, moments when we feel overwhelmed by the demands of others, when our own needs seem to be pushed aside, feeling drained, resentful, taken advantage of. These emotions are not just fleeting moments of stress, they are signals from our inner selves, telling us that something is amiss. These feelings can be signs of weak or non-existent boundaries. When we don't establish clear limits, we allow others to encroach on our personal space, time, and energy. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward positive change. You deserve respect. You deserve to be heard and to have your feelings acknowledged. You deserve to have your needs met. It's not selfish to prioritize your well-being. It's essential. When you take care of yourself, you are better equipped to take care of others. Setting boundaries is an act of self-care and self-love. It's about understanding your worth and ensuring that others do too. It's about creating a space where you can thrive. When we don't set boundaries, we risk letting others hack our time, values, and even our life force. This can lead to us feeling out of control and constantly reacting rather than living intentionally. We may then feel depleted and undervalued. It's a cycle that can be hard to break, but it's not impossible. With awareness and effort, we can reclaim our sense of self. Perhaps you need to reclaim your power, to stand up for yourself and to set the boundaries that will protect your well-being. You have the right to say no, to take a step back, and to prioritize your needs. It's up to every individual to create for themselves a life in which they feel respected, valued, and in control. Remember, boundaries are not walls, they are bridges to healthier relationships and a more fulfilling life. What exactly are personal boundaries? This is a question that many of us ponder at some point in our lives. Personal boundaries are those invisible lines that define our comfort zones, the limits we set to protect our well-being. They're the management bridge to healthy relationships, where we ensure that we feel safe and respected. They are the limits we set for acceptable behavior from others. These boundaries help us communicate our needs and expectations clearly. When we establish personal boundaries, we are essentially saying, "This is what I am comfortable with, and this is what I am not." It is a way of asserting our right to our own space and our own feelings. They are the lines we draw to protect our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Just as a fence protects a garden, boundaries protect our inner peace. They help us manage our energy and focus on what truly matters to us. Without them, we may find ourselves overwhelmed, stressed, and even resentful. Boundaries are not selfish but essential. Saying no when we need to is a powerful act of self-care. It allows us to prioritize our own needs and avoid burnout. By drawing lines, we are not only protecting ourselves but also teaching others how to treat us with respect. Think of them as your personal space, your emotional sanctuary. This sanctuary is where you can recharge, reflect, and reconnect with yourself. It is a place where you can be the real you without fear of judgment or intrusion. Everyone deserves to have this safe space. Just as we have physical boundaries like our skin, we need emotional and mental boundaries too. These help us maintain our mental health and emotional stability. They allow us to protect our thoughts and feelings from being manipulated or influenced by others. Such boundaries define what we will and won't accept from people. They are a way of communicating our values and principles. By setting them clearly, we can build healthier, more respectful relationships. It's important to remember that boundaries are not about controlling others, rather taking control of our lives. Boundaries are a form of self-respect and self-love. They empower us to live authentically, to honor our own needs and desires. By understanding and defining our personal boundaries, we can forge a fulfilling, balanced life, one true to who we are. Strong boundaries are the foundation of healthy self-esteem. When we can clearly communicate our needs and limits, we feel more confident and empowered. We stop settling for less than we deserve. Our sense of self-worth flourishes. Conversely, weak boundaries can lead to feelings of low self-worth. We may feel like we don't have a right to say no or to express our needs, which can create a vicious cycle of resentment and self-doubt. Setting boundaries breaks this cycle. Contrary to what some may believe, boundaries don't create conflict, they prevent it. By setting clear expectations, we avoid misunderstandings and resentment. Boundaries are the language of healthy relationships. When we communicate them clearly and respectfully, we invite others to treat us with the same respect. Of course, not everyone will always respect the lines we draw. That's where enforcement comes in. How does setting boundaries fit with having intimate relationships? Boundaries are crucial in all relationships, but they can be particularly challenging in intimate ones. Why? Because intimacy requires vulnerability. It requires letting someone in, but vulnerability doesn't mean sacrificing our boundaries. In fact, healthy boundaries are essential for true intimacy. They create a safe space for both partners to be themselves, without fear of judgment or control. It's about mutual respect and understanding. So let's look at the practicals of setting healthy boundaries. Setting boundaries is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. Start by identifying your needs and limits. What are you willing to tolerate? What are your non-negotiables? Once you've set your parameters, communicate them clearly and assertively. Use I statements to express your needs and feelings. For example, I feel disrespected when you interrupt me. Please let me finish speaking. We also need to consider preserving those boundaries that we do set. Establishing them is one thing, maintaining them is another. Others may test your boundaries, especially those who are used to getting their way. This is where consistency is key. At times you must enforce your boundaries with consequences. This could mean saying no more often, limiting contact, or even ending a relationship if necessary. Remember, your well-being is paramount. Let's discuss a prevalent myth that we could call boundaries versus sacrifice. Many people confuse setting limits with being selfish. They believe that to draw some lines demonstrates a lack of compassion, but the opposite is true. Healthy boundaries are about self-respect, which is an essential foundation for both non-toxic relationships and real compassion. When we value ourselves, we instinctively set limits, allowing us to give freely from a place of love, not obligation. In our journey towards healthier relationships, one of the most crucial steps we can take is learning to embrace boundaries. They are not walls meant to keep people out, rather guidelines that help us maintain our well-being while fostering reciprocal connections with others. Setting boundaries is not about adopting an isolationist mentality. It's about creating healthy, fulfilling relationships. When we draw lines, we communicate our needs and expectations clearly, allowing others to understand and appreciate our limits. This mutual understanding paves the way for more meaningful quality interactions. It's about honoring your legitimate needs, and taking the time to reflect on what you truly desire in your relationships is essential. Whether through journaling, meditation, or simply spending time alone, understanding your own boundaries first helps you communicate them effectively. You want to show up in your life as your most authentic self. When you honor your boundaries, you give yourself permission to be genuine, true to who you are. This authenticity both enriches your life and inspires those around you to do the same. When we have strong boundaries, we can deal with others from a place of strength and love, not resentment or depletion. By first addressing our own needs, we ensure the energy and emotional capacity to support and nurture friends and partners. Thus follows the true joy of connection. Healthy boundaries allow us to engage with others in a way that is sustainable and fulfilling. where both can grow without the fear of overstepping or being overwhelmed. Start setting boundaries today and watch your relationships flourish. Remember, they're about self-respect and care. Embrace them and watch your connections with others grow more genuine, supportive, and joyful. And please like, subscribe, and share with us your boundary-setting breakthroughs in the comments below. Establishing healthy boundaries is often complicated by the games humans adopt, those times that we and others fall into the trap of role-playing, which we unmask in our insightful episode 28.